Hello, Zach here again with a continuation still of the 5 games played between Norway and Germany in the Forgotten Empires Nation Cup. And I watched this game a little bit earlier. I was impressed. This is a cool game. And I will introduce you to the players, though you probably know who they are. In blue, we do have Bender playing as Byzantines down to the bottom, or far left island, I suppose you could say. Over to his right is his teammate Blaze in purple playing as Indians. And that makes Team Germany. And off to the other side of the map, we do have the Viper in green playing as Byzantines, and his teammate Bad Trip playing as Indians in red over to his left. And the map is islands, and this is actually an improved or sort of changed, altered version of islands. It makes sure that all the tiny islands in the middle are actually in the middle and not too close to one island or the other, so it's a much fairer map. And that, in my opinion, is quite cool. What can be found on these middle islands? Well, if you venture out and claim these islands, you can find a lot of gold piles here. You can find a lot of, well, an extra bit of wood and some extra stone as well. And that is always useful if it goes to the late game, because you only have limited resources on your starting island to begin with, and it's very rare that we see naval trading in these kind of maps. So the gold islands in the center, all to play for if it does get to that stage. But we are all into the feudal age right now, and we do have a galley coming out for the Viper. I imagine all the players will be getting galleys very shortly too. Bender too getting galleys, Blaze already with galleys out, and this is the kind of map where water wins, because if you don't have water control, you can't get off your island, and you can't claim the middle islands, which means that your opponents will have a clear advantage. So this one bound to play out for a while if the galleys end up going to war galleys and then upgrading to Imperial, going for the castle age. It's actually quite hard, I imagine, to end a islands game really quickly with a landing. It's very rare that you see a landing really quickly. I mean, Blaze could do it. Blaze could make a transport ship here, land over here, and storm the Viper's base unexpectedly with knights or scouts or whatever he decides to do. But at the cost of losing water, he may not decide that's a risk he wants to take. So it's unusual to see landings, and it's kind of a shame, because they are quite cool. But we do get to see big galley wars instead, which is kind of interesting, and it depends really, because in the normal Age of Empires, the Conquerors, galleys were pretty much all you'd see, but in the Forgotten Empires, it's more likely that you'll see a lot more fire ships and demolition ships, as well, as fire ships have been given a little bit of a boost, so it does make them a bit more effective against galleys, well, war galleys, once you get to the Castle Age. But for now, Feudal Age, all we will see is galleys. And Bad Trip may be able to kill off this villager here. If he does that, that'd be a little... Oh, he missed it. That's a shame. If he managed to kill that villager, that would be pretty nice for him, actually. Just killing one villager is better than none, of course. And, of course, now Bender going to go and head round to clear Bad Trip up. And Viper not really doing actually that much attacking on Blaze. Look at his view. He's not actually found Blaze exactly. He's just ignored him altogether and gone over to help Bad Trip out. But Bad Trip isn't even having much attacks on his shoreline, so not really sure why that is. Viper could come in here, kill off Blaze's fishing ships, of course. Fishing ships are very good for increasing your food very quickly, and if you can take your opponent's fishing ships out, you can really hurt their economy, and you can delay them up to the Castle Age, because once you get to the Castle Age in water maps like this, that's where it all starts to really get interesting. The first to upgrade to War Galley, the first to get Bodkin Arrow, of course, and gain that water advantage as quickly as they can. And not only that, but fire ships and demolition ships become available in the Castle Age as well. Let's have a look at the tech tree real quick for the Indians. And we will see, where have they gone? There they are. Let's have a look at their naval stuff. Well, Indians have very good navy by the looks of things. They have pretty much everything available to them apart from fast fire ship and shipwright. They do get dry dock and elite cannon galleon, so we may see that come into play a little bit later on. Of course, elite cannon galleons are a really cool unit if you can secure water control, because the opponent's islands, or the islands in general, are just very small, and a cannon galleon or elite cannon galleon on either side can pretty much reach everything inside the whole of the island. So an elite galleon can do a lot of damage if used correctly. And Viper could lose some fishing ships here. He's going to have to bring his galleys back. I didn't realise he actually had more galleys to bring back. Blaze will probably be forced to retreat. He doesn't have that many galleys here, and the Viper putting up an extra dock. He's got 4 now, and it's usual to see 3 docks until you get up to the castle age. It's usually 3 docks, making galleys consistently, advancing up to the castle age, and then adding on extra docks as you need. Of course, the more docks you have, the faster you can produce ships, the faster you can try and overwhelm your opponents. And most of these guys' economies will mainly be focusing on wood and gold. As you can see, a lot of wood collectors and quite a few gold collectors with very little food as well. Berries are one of the last things you tend to collect on islands. From the natural food resources anyway. So very little food coming in, just enough to sustain villager production. And of course Indians, well, Viper's playing as Byzantines, but Indians over here for Bad Trip and for Blaze, they're quite nice because obviously the decreased food cost of villagers when you advance up to the next stage does mean that you can have more villagers on wood and gold, which means, well, technically you should be able to produce more ships whilst still maintaining villager production. So that's kind of a nice little perk for the Indians at the moment. Bender coming over to Viper's side. Viper could get 2v1'd over here. Blaze with his galleys at the back. If he turns around and does a little bit of a pincer attack onto the Viper, Viper could find himself in a bit of a bad situation. He could lose quite a lot of galleys. If only Blaze was to turn around. It's a little bit late now. He's too far away, and Bender lost his opportunity to make a good attack on the Viper there. Bad Trip with his small navy, a little bit out of place. Not really actually near anything, and the Viper first up to the castle age. We will see probably almost straight away. He's going to continue to make galleys, but over somewhere he will have a dock researching war galley, I'm sure of it, and he will be probably getting bodkin arrow as well. There we go, there's war galley and bodkin arrow, and it's going to be the same for all of these players. They're all going to want +2 attack, they're all going to want war galley, and that is exactly what they'll probably all do, as it's just the most logical thing to do. You've got a lot of galleys on the water already, you may as well upgrade them. But we are seeing some fire ships from Viper now. He's starting to create a couple of fire ships, and hopefully he continues to make them. They are a very nice unit now in the Forgotten Empires, so that's kind of cool. And Viper now going to push out and go for Blaze's galleys over here. I think he was the first up to the castle age, and he actually got up very quickly indeed. Not sure why or how he managed to get up so quickly. Perhaps he had more fishers that were undisturbed, but yeah, he did get up very quickly indeed, and it looks like he's got about the same size navy. Blaze just about to go castle, which is good for him because Viper's right outside of his base with these war galleys now, and he will be looking to kill off a few of these galleys where he can. Blaze, war galley coming up straight away. He's going to continue to make galleys as well, but he needs to retreat for the time being with these guys. Fortunately, they do move faster. Galleys do move faster than war galleys, and it means that they can get away. But this is a little bit risky. War galleys on the way from this dock, but Viper is focusing it down. Of course, Viper doesn't know that war galley is being researched, but if he gets the dock down before war galley is complete, this is really going to delay Blaze here. Blaze is going to hold on for the last second. I think he's going to get the dock down before war galley is complete. It's so close. Ah, he just got it down. That is not good. Blaze is now missing war galley. I don't know if he cancelled the tech, but the war galley's delayed now, and that means that Viper can move on to kill his fishing ships. That was kind of lucky for the Viper. I don't think he realised that that was actually where war galley was being created, but it was, and that was a very lucky kill on that dock. Very, very close, and that has really hurt Blaze here. He's going to have to hang back and let his fishing ships get killed, let his docks get pummeled, and he can't do anything until that war galley upgrade gets complete. It is on 82% now though, 85, 87, 88, and he will be able to move back around in just a moment and head the Viper off. There we go. But this dock already low on HP. It's going to release those galleys very quickly, and Viper can focus them down before they can reach the rest of their army. That's the problem you see with losing your docks with units garrisoned inside. But Blaze looks like he has got quite a lot of war galleys on the water. Not sure if he's got more than Viper or not, but in comes Bender with his. Viper is going to get 2v1'd, and Blaze, not Blaze, Bad Trip even, still with just galleys at the moment. He's a little bit far behind for the time being. So Viper now kind of facing two fronts. If Blaze moves over to the left over here, he can do a little bit again of a pincer attack on the Viper. Viper, of course, going to have to retreat. He can't beat 2v1. He does have some fire ships mixed in there as well. Point that one out, and let's see if he's actually continuing to make fire ships, because if he is, then the opponents may decide to invest in some demolition ships to counter them. He's not actually continuing making fire ships though, and he's making a university, a couple of houses, so it looks like he's going to get ready to go up to the Imperial age pretty soon. Well, actually no, maybe not just yet, but he will be getting ballistics straight away, or when he can afford it, I'm sure of that. Ballistics, of course, will give a huge boost to your ships. It makes them a lot more accurate. It means they can do more damage. Winning for everyone. But Viper is being chased down by Blaze and Bender on this side, and if he does get 2v1'd, he's got a lot of ships, yes, but I don't think he's got enough ships to handle being 2v1'd over here. And there's ballistics on the way for him, and I think Bad Trip, yeah, he's in the castle age now. He's got some war galleys. He's looking to do what damage he can to the shoreline of Bender. Of course, if he gets war galleys over here, he can hit the villagers. If he gets war galleys, well, over here, he can kill the fishing ships. He needs to make the most use of those that he possibly can, maybe even split them up. He knows that Bender's army is over here. Viper losing a lot of villagers on this wood camp there. A little bit unfortunate for him. And of course, he's going to have to, I need to stop saying of course, don't I? I say it way too often. But Viper is going to rally his army together. I don't think he can beat these 2v1 though, and they are going to go and head out towards him. That is a very large navy you have there already, and they are starting to take out his docks as well, which is never a good thing. The less docks you have, the less units you can create. I want to know what Viper's plan here is. He's running very low on resources, very low on wood, very low on gold. And he is losing his docks. He's going to have to replace them a bit later on, so he's losing out on quite a bit of resource here. He's still got his navy at the back. I still think he's not got enough to attack this, but he may decide to do it, otherwise he's going to lose his whole of his military the whole of his military production, which is not good at all. It's going to be a long while before he can reach Imperial. He needs a lot more farms, and he is Byzantines, so he doesn't benefit from the cheaper villagers. For Blaze at the moment, who is playing as Indians, he does get villagers for 40 food, so his economy could be doing a lot better. But I've got to say, look at Viper's eco, looking pretty darn good. And Viper deciding to engage with a few ships whilst he runs the rest around the back. So Blaze and Bender looking pretty good back here. Going to continue to take out his docks. Going to continue to pick off some villagers as well at this rate. They're all looking pretty damaged, and Viper could lose quite a few. Bad Trip going to take out the docks of Bender over on this side, and he will be able to do, again, quite a bit of damage to Bender over here. He should go for his fishing ships though. That would help him out a bit. And I'm going to speed things up for a little while because I know this game is quite a long one. And Blaze just continuing to take out Viper's docks. Looks like Bender's going to head back to defend his own base over on this side. Bad Trip with quite a large navy, but it's not huge, you know. I think Bad Trip's now actually focusing on his eco quite a lot. If we actually have a look, he's got 3 town centres. He has got quite a lot of economy, and I think he's stopped, well maybe not stopped, but yeah, he has stopped actually, making galleys altogether. And he may decide to restart that once he sees Bender's larger navy. But we'll have to wait and see for that one. Viper's still on the run with his war galleys, wants to keep them alive. He doesn't want to get 2v1'd, of course, and Blaze taking the score lead. Viper, though, halfway to Imperial, and that is his plan. He's got a pretty nice economy at the moment, and once he gets Imperial, he may decide to upgrade to Galleon, of course, and continue to push out. He'll get chemistry as well, and then he will have a pretty strong and formidable navy, which he should be able to use to push Blaze back. And Bad Trip going to try and help Viper out on this side, but he's being chased away. And now Viper bringing up lots of docks over down here. He's going to try and get as many docks up as he can, so he can make lots of galleons once he does reach the Imperial Age. Bad Trip being chased down by Bender, but he did do quite a bit of damage. He took out quite a lot of Bender's docks. In fact, Bender only has 2 docks left, and that means his navy production is significantly hindered, and he can produce less ships. But Bad Trip going to move in again. He'll be able to pick off some fishing ships here. That's always nice. And I hear Viper picking up relics. Not sure exactly where, but it's worth getting the relics on your island. That extra gold is always useful. And he's nearly Imperial. He may just be able to kill off Blaze right here actually as well. Although Blaze is reinforcing, so hard to say. Though he's got quite a few war galleys. He's going to want to keep them alive though, so he can upgrade them to galleon. He's actually starting to make a lot of fire ships now, and that is kind of interesting. Careening as well, which is going to give him boom, a little bit of extra armor on his ships. And fire ships being created, they may get released if Blaze decides to attack his docks. Kind of nice that he's going for fire ships though, and he's up to the Imperial Age. He has a dock over here researching galleon, and Viper may just be able to retake water very shortly. He's going to make these fire ships for the time being though, and keep them inside of his docks so he can jump out and surprise Blaze. Blaze does know that he's Imperial though, but he's probably expecting galleons. And over on this side, Bad Trip versus Bender. Very close, but I think Bender is going to take it. And, oh, actually no, Bender is retreating. It's so hard to say with ship battles, because they all pile up on top of each other. It's almost impossible to see actually how many ships they have got. Viper's docks under attack. Blaze with a lot of war galleys, but Blaze quite away from Imperial Age at the moment. He does need a lot more food, and I think he may be... Viper may be the only one up to Imperial, but I take that back because Bender and Bad Trip both are as well. Bender's going to be there in just a moment, but Blaze, with a huge navy, is going to be up against an Imperial navy from the Viper very shortly. Viper is researching fast fire ship from this galley, from this dock. So once fast fire ship is completed, I think he may just release the fire ships, and he may do a lot of damage to these war galleys. Of course, 3 fire ships are going to do very little to the war galleys, but fire ships do have a lot more pierce armor, which does mean that they are a lot more resilient to war galleys, war galley fire. And they have a lot of HP as well, which does mean they can soak up that damage a little bit more. Fast fire ship 79% complete. Over on this side we do have Bad Trip and Bender continuing to battle it out, but I want to see how effective these fire ships are going to be. There's the fire ship upgrade completed, and Viper may just decide to release the fire ships. There they go, out come the fire ships, and he may just be able to do a lot of damage with these guys. If he can take out these war galleys from Blaze, he's going to gain a huge advantage. Blaze of course on the run, and Viper with a lot of fire ships coming in, but Blaze with fire ships as well. No demo ships in the mix, but Viper chasing Blaze down, just taking the score lead from him right there, as he does get these fire ships out onto the water and start killing off Blaze's boats. And if we have a look, they do have 8 plus 1 pierce armor. That is a lot of armor, and 140 HP, so they do soak up a lot of damage. If we have a look here, that's 7, 8, 9 attack from war galleys, and that's basically cancelled out by the pierce armor of these guys, so they need to be hit a lot of times before they can go down. As you can see, they're just soaking up that fire there, and ironically enough firing back with their balls of fire. And yeah, I think Blaze is going to be pushed right back here. Viper with a lot of fire ships moving right out, and I think now he's going to continue to back it up with some galleons. He's got the upgrade. He may just decide to continue to make galleons very shortly, or he may just go all out fast fire ships. I don't see why not. They're not too bad. Blaze may decide to counter this with demolition ships though. Let's have a quick look. Yep, demolition ships coming out for Blaze, and quite a lot of them as well. Demolition ships the best counter of course, because fire ships have to get in close to attack, and that's when the demolition ship explodes and does a lot of damage. Let's see if we can actually take out any of these fast fire ships. Of course demolition ships move faster as well, so they can catch them up. And boom, there's one, and it didn't take anything out, but it may just be able to get another kill here. There's one down, and unfortunately, because they're not heavy demolition ships, they aren't so effective. It does take 2 really to take 1 fast fire ship down, with a little bit of splash damage as well. So unfortunately fast fire ships doing a pretty good job, so that's kind of not good for Blaze. But bad trip into the Imperial Age now, and so is Bender. Huge galleon war over on this side. Blaze with a lot of galleons, Bender with a lot of galleons. This is a massive fight on the water. I'm not surprised either. The populations do go up to 250, so they can make a lot more units. And Viper now pushing out again with his fast fire ships, galleons as well. Looks like he's going to take the water from Blaze. Blaze's score really starting to fall. Bender already onto this little island in the middle. This is kind of nice. He is going to be able to get a lot of extra gold from this, although he's going for the wood at the moment. Good for him. He's going to be able to hopefully use that to his advantage, but I imagine, there we go, Viper actually going to take this island as well, and he'd be mad not to. He's going to make a castle on there first to secure this water a little bit more. He's going to continue to push out and go for Bender and Blaze on this side again. Bad trip. Going to move down, I imagine, and they're going to go for a little bit of a pincer attack, but this castle is going to be in a nice place. It's going to help to secure this area of water between Blaze and the Viper, and he may just go for this gold as well. Looks like Viper's pretty much out of, well, no, he's not out of gold. He will be out of gold fairly shortly though on his main island. And wood as well is always a little bit of an issue. It's very common to see players running out of wood towards the late game, and that's why these middle islands are so important. Bad trip with a huge navy though. He's got a huge navy, and he has forced Bender to retreat. I think Blaze will be going Imperial. Oh, well, no, that's not Blaze, that's Bender. That's why. Where's he gone? Blaze. Yeah, he's on his way to the Imperial Age. He's very low on army at the moment. If you have a look, he's actually only got 20 ships. Compare that to Bender's 28. Compare that to Bad Trip's 50 and the Viper's 46. It's clear who has the water advantage at the moment. I might just leave it on the military minimap for the time being, because you can see the ships on the water a lot easier, and it does give you a little bit of a better idea of exactly where their army's at and what they're doing. And Viper now going to move in with his mixture of fast fire ships and war galleys, sorry, galleons. But he is going to be faced with a lot of war galleys down here as well. And Bad Trip a bit out of sight. He's going to focus down these docks to prevent them from making more ships. But he may want to help out Viper down here. Viper's going 2v1 and back to normal minimap, I think. And there we go. I just think Blaze is about to reach Imperial, and he is. He's got a lot of resources available to him. He's going to go and make a lot of docks back here. That means he's going to be able to try and mass up a huge navy. He's just spent all of his wood. I think he's getting a galleon on this dock over this side, and he may just be upgrading some more researchers as well. Let's see, I can't remember if they get Bracer or not. If you just get Bracer, good would be a good idea. He's getting Chemistry to give him that extra +1, and Bracer as well. So Blaze's ship's going to be quite formidable. They're going to have +4 attack, and that is more, I think, than the Viper can get. Viper's only on +2 though. He's missing Chemistry at the moment. He doesn't have Bracer. So the war galleys from Blaze are going to be very powerful for the Indians, and the Byzantines, oh no, my bad, Byzantines do get +4. What am I on about? But actually, yeah, that's right. Byzantines do get +4, but Viper, for getting those upgrades, he's not got the Chemistry upgrade yet, and I'm surprised at that. I thought he'd go for the upgrades a lot sooner. He does when he gets to the Castle Age, but we will see these galleys over here, very formidable, and they are, well, galleons even, and that is a lot of galleons. So let's see how this one plays out. This could be a huge battle right here, and they are going to run into each other. I think this is probably one of the biggest battles on water I've ever seen in my life, and just so many boats everywhere. I wish I had the higher resolution so we could see even more just how many boats there actually were, but there are a huge number of missiles flying across the map. This is where it would help the Viper to have Chemistry. I think he's just got it now. Yeah, he has, but no Bracer from him just yet. So it looks like Bender and Blaze are going to have a little advantage here, though it does come down to numbers as well. Viper around the back as well of Blaze's base. Look at this, it's just huge battle, and there are just so many ships just piling in here. No way to say who's going to win, but it's just going to be a matter of time who can grind it down and continue to push on through. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks it looks to me like Bender and Blaze may just be able to hold on and take this. Blaze even putting a castle up on this shoreline. Really nice positioning from him. Castles, of course, do have an attack bonus against ships, which does mean that this castle very well positioned. garrisoned inside as well, so that it does extra damage, and they are going to take out a lot of ships from Bad Trip and from the Viper on this side just with this castle alone, which is really nice from them. And it looks like Bender and Blaze have managed to push them back, though I would say Viper and Bad Trip do have the most ships at the moment. What a game, eh? What a game. It looks like, yeah, Bender's been forced off this island. He's like, no more gold for you, and I'm going to prevent that castle as well. Bad Trip going to take this gold by the looks of things, and Viper taking this gold over here as well, and also Bad Trip on this island also. So, ooh, they've got the middle islands, but look at the navy from Bender and Blaze. This is a huge navy right here, and I don't even think the fire ships can do that much. They can't get in close enough, though they do act as a little bit of a meat shield with the extra pierce armor. But just getting right involved there, and blimey, these fire ships just soaking up the damage. It's so hard to say who's going to win this. I think Bender and Blaze are going to take the water again. It's so hard to say. What a huge battle. I'm just going to stop talking and just let you watch all of those missiles firing at each other. It's just, so many ships. I don't think I've ever seen a water battle that huge in my life. It's just epic. Absolutely massive. But you've got to bear in mind, this isn't the only thing that's going on. So those of you who are going to moan at me for taking away from the action, that isn't the only action. You have the Viper down here, preventing Blaze from gathering wood. That's going to hinder his ability to make more ships. Again, on this side, taking out his docks, which is always important. It's not all about the main battle. It's all about what's going on behind the scenes, because Bad Trip got some elite cannon galleons, starting to take out the buildings from the shoreline of Bender over on this side. The elite cannon galleons going to start taking out all the houses, going to start working on whittling down on Bender's eco, and that is all what's going on away from the main battle. And of course, look at that, Blaze and Bender with a huge navy pushing out once again, and it looks to me like Viper and Bad Trip struggling to keep their numbers up, but they've both got castles on these middle islands, so they may just decide to make docks on the middle islands as well. It looks like Bad Trip is going to do just that. Viper may decide to do the same very shortly, just to get his docks a bit closer, get some more docks out of course as well, and kinda nice. It's hard to say who is going to take it, though. Viper and Bad Trip do have the score lead. I'm going to speed things up a little bit because this could go on for a while, but look how huge their navies are. Absolutely massive. Viper coming in from the right, Bad Trip on the left, and this castle for Bad Trip helping him out again with the extra attack bonus on the galleons. Viper may just get pushed away here. It looks like it's almost 2v1. Bender and Blaze almost 2v1ing Viper here. Viper going to prevent that castle from going up. Very nice from him. That castle could have been a real pain in the neck, as it would have damaged a lot of his galleons. He's going to reinforce very quickly, and it's still hard to say who's going to take it, because it's so hard to see how many ships are actually there. You can't actually tell because they simply bunch up together, and it's almost impossible to see. But I've got to say, it looks like Viper will win this little battle. Now Bad Trip coming in from the side. Their navies are absolutely huge. Let's have a look how many war galleys they actually have. That's 70 war galleys for the Viper, 82 for Bad Trip. Bender on 37 and Blaze on 31. It's clear that Viper and Bad Trip are starting to gain an advantage. They are retreating now, it seems. No, they're going to continue fighting. I think that's a bad mistake. They want to get back, but they may get back to the shelter of their castles. Warships just continually coming out. Looks like Bad Trip is going to be on 100 almost, and that's 89, continuing to go up 90. He has got so many galleons right there, and Viper finally just upgrading his galleons to the max, and he has 81 himself. An absolutely huge navy, and landing a trebuchet as well. Kind of nice there. Going to be able to start whittling away at Blaze's economy with that, and just so many ships on the water. It's ridiculous. Just look at this. I'm surprised the game is able to keep up with it, but yeah, they are, so suck on that. No, I've got to say, Decision actually has done a lot of work to make water battles less laggy, and we can already see that really well done. That the water battles are a lot less laggy indeed. Bad Trip now nearly on 100 warships, 97, 99, 100, and there we go. He's a centurion of the water with his huge navy, continuing to grow all the time, and I think they may just be able to push this through and win this one. I don't want to call it just yet, but it's looking like it's going that way. Viper with more docks on his middle island there, and let's have a look at their resources. Bad Trip with a lot of wood and quite a bit of gold as well. Viper with quite a bit of wood and a lot of gold. But if we have a look at Blaze, very little gold, very little wood. Looking at Bender, almost no wood whatsoever. He can only afford one galley at the moment, and that castle may just go up for Bender there. That's really going to help them out with this attack. Will do a lot of damage to these boats, but the fact that they're running so low on wood is a real issue. They are going to be struggling massively to get their navy back in shape. And if we actually have a look here, Blaze with 38 warships, but Bender dropped right down to 12. Not good for him at all when you consider that Bad Trip has more navy than both of them combined at the moment. So it does look to me like they could continue to push through here and win it. And it doesn't look like we're even going to see much of a landing, though Bad Trip continuing to attack on the shoreline, preventing Bender from gathering wood. Really nicely done by him right there. And he is going to continue to attack that and prevent him from doing so. More elite cannon galleons as well, a lot of elite cannon galleons even. There's 3, 6, 7, 8 there, which are going to start whittling away still at the shoreline. That's such a huge navy right there. I don't think they can win this. There is no chance in hell they can win this. And looking at the scores, it's clear that Bad Trip and the Viper were the victors. What a huge navy, what a huge water battle. That was something I've never seen so much of before, and that's obviously attributed to the fact that the new population limit is 250. And yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. I certainly thought this was a pretty cool game, something a little bit out of the ordinary at the least, because it's not so often that you see such ridiculously large water battles. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been Zach. It's now 4-0 to Norway. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.